Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We're going to start with our conversations on CARICOM, and there most certainly has been a great deal going on all across the region. We just heard that the Prime Minister was in Venezuela along with the ambassador, and now they're back. But also, we just recently celebrated the 50th, the actual day, but there will be a year of celebrations, the 50th anniversary of CARICOM. So we certainly have lots to unpack this morning in our conversations with David Comissiong. Good morning to you and welcome.
Good morning, Tisha. It's a pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. Good to have you with us. As I mentioned, just back from a visit to Venezuela, and of course, still celebrating the success of the 50th launch of the 50th anniversary of CARICOM celebrations.
Yes, last week was a very, very eventful week. We did our CARICOM Heads of Government Conference in Trinidad, where we were celebrating 50 years of CARICOM. And immediately we came back to Barbados the Thursday, spent Friday in Barbados, and then headed off to Venezuela, Caracas, for a one-day visit. But let's start with CARICOM. I think viewers would probably know about some of the symbolic things that happened during that conference, going up to Chaguaramas, doing the time capsule and the concert and all of that. But let's focus on the substantive achievements of the conference. And the number one substantive achievement was the decision taken by our heads of government that we will have full freedom of movement in our region by the 31st of March next year. So we have the next 8 months or so to work out to iron out all of the details, to make the necessary amendments to the revised Treaty of Chaguaramas, to make this a reality by March of next year. And what this means is that right now we have this CARICOM skills movement where people with certain skills and who can produce skill certificates, they have the right to live and work in our member states without the need for any work permit. Well, no longer will that be restricted to people with to skills. That will be the right of all citizens of our community. Of course, our CSME, this is based on the CSME. This is part of the CSME. Our CSME does not include the Bahamas, so they will not be participating. And although Haiti is technically a part of our CSME, the decision was made with the concurrence and maybe even at the request of the Haitian administration that Haiti will not be part of this free movement administration. And that's a sensible position, because we know that right now Haiti is in a crisis. It's in a situation of great instability. Haiti has 11 million people, and there are millions of people in Haiti that, were they part of this regime, they'd probably just rush out of Haiti, and the whole regime would become mired in instability. So we need a stable Haiti. We need Haiti to be able to participate in all aspects of our integration movement. But it requires a stable Haiti, so that if we have migration out of Haiti, it's not a mad rush. It is something stable that can be managed. But for all the rest of us, it is now a reality. And it means that you'll be able to move, you'll be able to work without the need for a work permit, but you will still have to go through certain registration processes. So it's not that a CARICOM citizen just gets up and goes to another CARICOM country and lives and works without any having to be registered and some degree of regulation. But this is a big step forward in the whole process of making CARICOM really a people's organization. It belongs to the people, And I hope that we will spend the next year, we, the people of the Caribbean, really, getting to know our regional organization, getting to understand that it belongs to us. It doesn't belong to the prime ministers. It is our organization. And with this new development of free movement for all of our people, really embracing it and making it the best that it can be.
Right, that sounds excellent. And of course, we look forward to what the next step is in making it a truly free Caribbean for movement across the region. I'm sure there's lots to be done in that regard. As I mentioned at the beginning, I know it truly has been a busy last few days. So you can go ahead and update us on some of the other things that have been happening.
Well, it's important to note some of the other achievements of the Heads of Government Conference. I think a lot of time was spent on the issue of Haiti, and maybe it would be good for me just to read out the part of the communique that deals with the situation of Haiti, so that people could be clear. And let me just read it very quickly. Heads of government deliberated over the complex crisis enveloping Haiti and expressed their grave concern over the deep humanitarian, security, and governance crises. In that regard, they noted the need for the immediate creation of a humanitarian and security stabilization corridor under the mandate of a United Nations Security Council resolution, and agreed to seek support from international partners to help finance its establishment. Heads of government are of the view that approaches should be made to Rwanda, Kenya, and other willing international partners, to support the strengthening of the Haitian National Police and the establishment of the corridor. They welcome the statement by the Prime Minister of Haiti that he will not seek election, but will head a transition government to secure the arrangements to transition the country from the security and humanitarian crises until the holding of free, fair, and credible elections. Heads of government acknowledge that the CARICOM Eminent Persons Group will continue to work with the Haitian government and stakeholders in their efforts to find a Haitian-led solution to the crisis. So the big news there is that the CARICOM has said that they support the idea of some kind of security intervention, but under the authority of a United Nations Security Council resolution. That is going to call for unanimity at the United Nations Security Council, and they're looking to African countries. They're looking to Rwanda, Kenya, and perhaps other African countries to lead the way in this respect. Other than that, we dealt with West Indies cricket. We issued a call again for the removal of the sanctions against Cuba, removal of the sanctions against Venezuela. We dealt with the our food and agriculture and food security project. We heard from President Ali of Guyana that it is on stream. We are increasing our food production in the region, and we are on track to achieve that 25% reduction in the food bill by the year 2025. We also dealt with climate financing. We set up a prime ministerial subcommittee to prepare our region to participate in COP28. So all in all, it was a conference that delivered substance, and I can tell you that the eyes of the world are on CARICOM. I mean, the people who attended this conference included the Secretary General of the United Nations, the Secretary General of the Organization of American States, Secretary General of the Security Council, the President of Rwanda, the Prime Minister of South Korea, Assistant Minister of Foreign Affairs of China, the U.S. Foreign Minister. We can go on and on. So people are paying attention to our Caribbean community. Having said that, we came back to Barbados. We headed off to Venezuela, and what a wonderful visit of Venezuela. I think this visit was so meaningful. Um, we, we are turning our eyes to the south, to our neighbors in Latin America. We are turning our eyes to the east, to our brothers and sisters on the African continent. That's a picture there of me and Trevor Prescott. Actually, some days before the CARICOM summit, a team of myself, Trevor Prescott, Mighty Gabby, Mike Seeley, Baba John Howell, we went to Venezuela. So there's been a lot of Barbados Venezuela engagement in the last few weeks. And all of that activity was culminated with Prime Minister Mottley leading a team that included Foreign Minister Kerry Simmons, myself, the permanent secretaries in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Prime Minister's office. And there we are. We are all there meeting and having discussions with President Nicolas Maduro at the famous Miraflores Palace in Caracas. And it was very, very encouraging, Tisha. We signed cooperation agreements in agriculture. We signed an air services agreement. We are going to be working, that is Barbados, a lot with Venezuela's Conviasa national airline. And we believe that Conviasa might even hold the key to us establishing that direct airline linkage with Africa. President Maduro offered medical scholarships to Barbadian students. We're going to have teacher exchanges between Barbados and Venezuela. It is we are working on a second version of PetroCaribe because the international oil prices are spiraling. The Caribbean, the CARICOM region needs a buffer where energy is concerned. And Venezuela, our regional partner, our regional sister country, has perhaps the largest deposits of oil and gas in the world. And so we are going to work with Venezuela to put PetroCaribe #2 in place to help us, to help our region get through this very difficult period. So yes, a very, very, very productive week for Barbados and for our region.
Would you like to look ahead to what's coming up? I know there's always something on the horizon.
I tell you something that is coming up, and it's part of it's in our CARICOM agenda because Barbados has responsibility for reparations within CARICOM. This month of July, we will be hosting a very substantial delegation from Africa, from the African Union, somewhere between 30 to 40 personnel led by the deputy chairperson of the African Union Commission, and including many, many African Union ambassadors. And they will be coming to Barbados to learn about reparations, to discuss with us about reparations, to begin to prepare the African Union to become deeply involved in the reparations campaign. And the background to this is that in February of this year, at the Heads of State Summit of the African Union, they passed a resolution committing the African Union to pursuing reparations, but also to collaborating with CARICOM in its pursuit. So they're coming to our region to start that engagement, to learn from our own experience, since we have been on this campaign since 2013. So that is something that is coming up, and that is a very important breakthrough in our reparations campaign, because CARICOM has been doing the running since 2013. But when we bring Africa with us, Africa brings a certain weight. I mean, you're talking some 54 nation states. You're talking 1.4 billion people. So Africa gives us a certain clout that we could never have because of our size. Yes, so Africa and the Caribbean together, and unstoppable force.
All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing. As always very insightful. And we most certainly look forward to what's in the week ahead when it comes to CARICOM and beyond. Thank you.
My pleasure, Tisha. Have a great
And you. Thank you.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.